There's the snap. The game is over. The Chargers know it. Their fans know it. And the rowdy Buck bunch across the field behind our bench is making more noise than the Chargers. The Buccaholics. The Buccaholics. The Buccaholics are standing proud in red. The game is over. The rowdy Buck bunch. The Buccaholics. The Buccaholics are standing proud in red. The game is over. The rowdy Buck bunch.
Fantastic.
Buccaholics.
Fantastic.
Buccaholics.
Fantastic.
Buccaholics.
Fantastic.
Buccaholics.
Fantastic.
Buccaholics.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
What's going on, Buccaholics? How y'all feeling? It's Victory Monday, baby. It is Victory Monday, and I am back. My name is Jay, and I am back with you for episode 4 of Buccaholics Fan-Tastic. And speaking of fantastic, I got to tell you, man, that's about how I feel right now. I have a lot of reasons to be happy tonight. We got a win yesterday, a definitive win. We're going to definitely dig into that a little bit later in the show. But I got that to be excited about, and I have a very special guest to be excited about. Now, some of y'all, you see this guy down, his face keeps popping up over here in the corner. Y'all might recognize this gentleman right here, but let me give you just a little taste of something that might help you recognize him even more. Y'all check this out real quick.
And I am a beast. I rap my Bucs from the west to the east.
Do you really love them? Yeah. Nah, I said, do you really love them? Yeah. Until my casket drops, I'm gonna be right here. Until the day I die, I'm gonna be a Buccaneer. Left hand to the sky with the right behind. Put your cannons up, Buck Nation, one time with Frank and let 'em fly. Let 'em fly, let 'em fly, let 'em fly, let 'em fly, let 'em fly. Buck Nation till the day that I die. Let 'em fly. Real fans, keep your hands up high. Let 'em fly, let 'em fly, let 'em fly.
All right. We're gonna kill the track for a minute because I gotta get my guest on here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't already know, now you know. And if you still don't know, then you better damn sure ask somebody. Because my guest tonight has been dropping anthems for the Bucs now for a few years, and I'm so excited to have him on the show tonight. This is the one, the only Kareem Frank McGill, but y'all may know him better as Franko. What's going on, Franko?
Man, what's happening with the J, baby? Proud to be a part of the show, man. So happy, so humble, man. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, we're having a good old Monday. How you feeling on this Monday?
Baby, every Victory Monday is a good Monday, baby. That's how I start my Monday off after every win. Is Victory Monday, baby.
Yeah, it is. Now, for the fans out there that are not aware of exactly who you are and what you do, I'll tell you, I first kind of came across Franko a couple years ago, and I think I first heard about you from Derek at What the Buck.
Okay.
And I was listening to might have even been like from a video from one of the tailgate parties or something like that. But I remember hearing, and then I remember actually getting to listen to some of the tracks, like the recorded versions of the tracks, and I was like, man, this guy's got something going on. If y'all don't know, Franko is, in my opinion, he is the artist for the Buccaneers in Tampa right now, man. He's the guy that's putting the songs out for the Bucs. He's doing something different right there. And I wanted to have you on, number one, because I love the songs, man. I love the energy. I love the vibe. I love the fact that you're doing something to help excite the crowd and pump the home fans up. But I also want to do what I want to do with this show on a weekly basis, which is give fans the opportunity to tell their stories and talk a little bit about where what your experiences have been as a Bucs fan. So let me go ahead and just start like this. Tell everybody just a little bit about you. Where are you from? Where you come from? And we'll start getting into some of the Bucs fan stories here in just a second.
Okay, well, I often hear this, man. You know, when I talk to people about, you know, when people see that I am a Bucs fan, they often ask, you know, where I'm from. And when I tell them I'm born and raised in Tampa, they often say that that's a rare thing that you find people that are born and raised. But I'm born and raised right here in Tampa, and pretty much been a Bucs fan all my life, man. There is no, I guess you could say, backstory to it. I'm born and raised right here in the 813, man. I love the Bucs, and I've been here all my life, and you know, I'm a diehard fan, man.
How
you know,
you know what? I can understand why people would say that it's a rarity, because Tampa is kind of like that snowbird heaven kind of part of Florida, right?
Yeah.
A lot of permanent tourists down that way.
We get a whole lot of them, man, and I guess I can see where you're coming from, man. We get people from everywhere down there, man. You know, I know St. Pete is a big place for retirement, and you know, you got Orlando that has Disney World, and you get a lot of attractions there. And then you got Busch Gardens here. You get people, you know, want to come and see those attractions down here in Florida. We attract a lot of people, man. But I'm serious, man. They said it's very rare that you find someone that's just born and raised right here in the city of Tampa, man. And I'm that guy, man. I'm born and raised right here in the city of Tampa, man.
There you go, man. That's something to be proud of. So tell me about this. You said you've been a Bucs fan your whole life, but let's break that down just a little bit. How old were you when you first started? And give us a year. How old were you, and what year was it when you first kind of started following football?
Man.
Gotta dig deep.
Yeah, I gotta think about it, man. I guess you could say around 97, 98, like when I actually started following football. Like I would wear the colors, you know, at a young age, you know, I guess I was just following the trend, you know, everybody in the city. I'm here in the city, but I guess you would say when I actually started following them, it had to be around the Dungy era, if I'm gonna be honest about it. But
okay.
yeah.
What who were some of the players that kind of attracted you to the team and attracted you to the game?
Back then, of course, being a Florida State fan, shouts out to the Seminoles, by the way. Yeah, I had to throw that out there. Y'all whooped up on us in the first game, man. I had to throw that out there, man. But Warwick Dunn, of course, and Derek Brooks, Jaquez Green. I remember Riedel Anthony, Copeland, man. It was a few players out there that attracted me. Yeah. I didn't know too much about Warren Sapp back then, but you know, of course, we all came to know about Warren Sapp over the years, man. But you know,
a little bit too much lately.
Yeah, but those are some of the players, man. Like I say, like I was into the sport, but I didn't follow my team as well as I do now at this age, and things are much more intricate. I think about things a lot more now than I did back then at that age. Like I say, it was more so about a thing with following the trend and with being here in the city of Tampa, and that being my team, and you know, just going along in the Florida things, and you know, going to Houlihan Stadium in the big sombrero and rocking that orange and white across from Tampa Bay Mall. You know what I'm saying? That was a thing to do. And I really wasn't following the you know, the game as much back then, but you know, as I am now. But those are some of the players that kind of stand out in my mind.
There you go. There you go. When was the when you were younger, did you get to go to games, or did you ever have that chance to go to like the old big sombrero? And
oh yeah, all the time, man, all the time. Me and my mom, you know, we're real tight, and you know, she would always get access to tickets, and we'd be able to go to the games. And sometimes my uncle would come down from Tallahassee, and we'd go to games, and you know, it was a good experience. I remember the old sombrero, man, like that. Those are some good days back then, right? And that I actually, not to, you know, jump off topic, but, you know, in the song you were just playing, Let 'Em Fly, I actually kind of threw that in one of my lyrics. You know, I talked about you know, I talk about Houlihan across the Tampa Bay Mall where we used to get it in, you know, like I remember those days. Those are some of my childhood memories, being able to go to the big sombrero back in the day.
yeah, that place was hot as crotch soup, though. Let me tell you. When that's the one thing I remember about the times that I've had a chance to be there, man. That place got hot.
It get hot, man. It did get hot. And as Warren Sapp used to call it, that big high school stadium, the way it was shaped is
Right.
if you go back and look at it, it looked like a high school stadium, man. Just a oversized version of a high school stadium.
So when you started getting more into actually following the team and actually following the game more, did you ever have any opportunities to go like and actually like meet any of the players when you were younger, or
at a few of our high school
autographs, or
at a few of our high school games, but players, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The first time I actually got to go into Raymond James, once Raymond James was built, I never got an opportunity to go into those games. The first game I got to go in, it's one of my greatest memories, man. I remember, I never forget it. It was the game we played the Redskins. It was on our route to go to the NFC Championship game in 1999. I'll never forget it, man. We lived out on Mabry, man. If people in Tampa, you know where I'm coming from. I rode my bicycle from Fletcher and Del Mabry, and I had a Bucs flag. I never forget this. And I rode my bike from Fletcher and Del Mabry all the way to Raymond James Stadium, no ticket. And I just so happened to see a friend of my mother's, and you know, I got to the gate, and he was like, you know what, man, just come on in, man. That was the first time I ever walked in the Raymond James Stadium, man. We played the Redskins. Oh my goodness, this stadium was so electric. I mean, I got goosebumps just thinking about it, man. It was so electric. And that was the first game that I actually got to see the Bucs play inside of Raymond James. Before that, I've seen players out, but I don't know. I've never been like a starstruck type person, so I've never been that one to run up and say, you know, can I get your autograph? Like, but you know, I've had the opportunity to see players out. It may be more like a thing of like, hey, how you doing? You know, dap them up, like, and I can go tell my boys, hey, you know, I got to see such and such, or I saw such and such on the sideline. Like, I'll never forget Hillsborough High School. It was I want to say that same year.
okay,
That same year. Warren Sapp, Riedel Anthony, and I want to say it was Sean King on our sidelines, and I just got to say, you know, I just got to give him, hey, you know, what's up, what's happening, like, and that was big to me. But you know, as far as like autographs and like actually getting a one-on-one experience with him, I can't really say that. No,
I get that totally. Sometimes you just want that. Just don't tell, you know, my boy Vance. Just don't tell Vance that, because Vance's motto is, if there's no picture, it didn't happen.
Well, you know, if Facebook was out back then, you know, ain't no telling what we'll have right about now. Back in 98, 99, you know, ain't no telling what'll be out right about now, man.
Oh man, we'd have all kind of craziness going on. All right, so let me ask you this. You talk about going into Raymond James for the first time. Tell me, what is of all the games that you've been to, what was the best game you ever saw live in that stadium?
Oh man.
Best game ever live at Raymond James.
Best game ever live at Raymond James.
That's a lot of water under bridges, isn't it?
Yeah, I think honestly I'm gonna have to go back to recent memory, man. Maybe last season. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that New Orleans Saints game last season, man. And reason being, that's just me. Reason being, it's a game we won because if we go talk now, I could go to other games, and I'm gonna say because we won that game, of course.
Right.
But with that game, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to. I think that's the game that Altron Werner's father passed. Like I want to say it was the day before.
I do remember.
And
remember that. I remember when his father.
Yeah, and
I remember it was right before. I didn't remember which game it was.
yeah, I want to say it was that New Orleans Saints game last year, man. And when he got that interception, it was like an electricity went through that stadium, and you just saw tears just scream. It was like if the entire fan base was as one, like hugging him all together, man. And that was just it was emotions on a level I can't even describe, man. That was huge. That was huge in my eyes, and it kind of brought memories back because I mean you're a Bucs fan, and like we kind of lost. It was a period of time where we lost that. Like when PewDiePie was born, it was a time where you couldn't see an empty seat inside of Raymond James Stadium. Like you look in that stadium now, over recent years, and there's just seats everywhere. And, even with then the laughing stock around the league, you know what I'm saying? And that game going into that, we had that momentum flowing, and you starting to see the stadium starting to fill back up, and the crowd, the noise level was ridiculous. Like you didn't hear like that. And when he got that interception, like I jumped on my seat, and I just pointed right to the sky, like pointing at his father. Like you just saw tears flowing down fans' faces. And it was just so emotional like that. That was just the greatest feeling as a fan, like to know that you were right there with your team, and you were feeling that emotion with them. And it was just that family, that bond, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's something about that, the ability, and I think you mentioned it earlier, but Facebook, but social media in general, I think just media in general has given us as fans an ability to connect with these players on levels that would never have been possible back in the early days when I first started watching football. When I first started watching football, those were just guys on a TV. I didn't know anything about them outside of the moment they ran onto the field to the moment they walked off at the end of the game. And now it's like we actually do have the opportunity to become connected to these players as people.
Exactly right.
And I look at players that, again, you want to stay, if we're going to stay recent, I look at players like Vincent Jackson. And
that's my man.
And the opportunity to connect with him outside of the game and see all the things that he does for the community. And to me, he's one of those players that is just a role model of what an NFL player should be, both on and off.
He is. He really is. I've had a couple opportunities to see Vincent Jackson. I got to see him at one of the MMA fights that they hold over at the DoubleTree, and just to sit and talk with him. I really like when I can actually get a chance to talk to those guys, and they can come outside that element of being an NFL player, and you actually get to talk to them as a human being, or this is just a man that I'm talking to. Other side of them, and he is a down-to-earth dude, man. He's a good guy, and I'm really happy that I had the opportunity, you know, to get the chance to talk to him one-on-one and get to see that other side of him outside of the game of the NFL.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot with this one right quick, just because I know that I'm not going to ask it later. So you're getting off the hook on that Flash 5 later on. I'm going to put you on the spot right here with this question. Favorite Bucs player, current roster, and favorite Bucs player, all-time roster?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with all-time roster first.
Okay.
The reason why I wear the number 19, Keyshawn Johnson.
Okay.
All time, man. Keyshawn, you know, he wasn't liked by many. I had my own personal reasons for liking Keyshawn. You know, I got a chance to play receiver for a little bit back in the day, and Keyshawn had strong hands. He was a strong receiver, and at one time he was our go-to receiver. I took a liking to him, man. Big 19 Keyshawn. That was my boy back in the day. Like I say, he wasn't liked by many, but that was my dude back in the day. Current roster, of course, I'm gonna go with the fan favorite, Jameis Winston, man, J-Boo.
Okay.
I'm a Florida State fan, and it was just so ironic. I actually ran into him going into his second year before he got drafted by the Bucs, right before his second season with Florida State started. I would have never known, man. We just out one night and I just got a chance to see him. I took a picture with him. I was like, hey, yo, Jameis, nice to meet you. This is going to be my starting. This is my franchise quarterback. And, the way he's come in, he came in with a head full of steam. And, when you're a leader, you lead from the front, and, you don't hold anything back. And that's what I love about him. And he's genuine with his, and he leads, and he tries to lead by example. And I think he's going to be the one, man. He's going to be the one to bring that Labarda back to Tampa. That's my belief.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there. I'll be honest. And anybody, if y'all want to go back and check my Facebook history, you can check my Facebook history. From the day that he was drafted, I made the statement that he was going to have to prove it to me. He wasn't. I wasn't in that position you were in. I'm not a Florida State fan. I hadn't been following his career like some of y'all Florida State fans go a little bit apeshit with that. But that's all right. You go ahead and do your little chop. And but I said he's going to have to prove it to me. He's going to have to prove it to me. And you know what? From that very first day of non-mandatory rookie camp, when they showed the footage of him in the building before anybody else and greeting every single player at the door and shaking their hand, I said, okay, he's already started.
You knew right then.
He's already started.
You knew right then.
And then I look at tape, video of him, like, again, in the building before anybody else, on the field after everybody else. And I'm just like, okay, he's across that first season, by the end of the first season, I was like, all right, I'm good. We can keep him.
Everybody convinced, man. He had everybody convinced. Yeah.
Well, with that leadership, that natural leadership, and that charisma that he has, it's not hard to convince people when you got that behind you.
Right.
You know,
right. And he is a natural born leader, man, and he's showing that, and it's genuine. You get people in life who can sniff people out, man, whether they're real or fake, man, and that's one thing I can honestly say about him. He's a genuine dude, and I love more than anything, he loves the game. You just don't find that anymore. And I always revert back to when also winning that championship in 2002, and then you put that in reference to the players of the game today. The one thing that I can say that actually bought us that championship, because you think about it, the guys today are about money, man. If you think about that star-studded defense we had back then that won us that championship, if those are the guys of today, man, we would have been in the world of trouble. We wouldn't be around here boasting through the NFC South about having the first championship in the NFC South. We wouldn't have a ring to talk about because these guys today are more so about money. It's all about money. And I think that's why I wear it on my chest so much about us winning that championship, because I feel like those guys then, that nucleus that we developed back then, and that's the reason why we got that championship. You know what I'm saying? And if you get a guy like him, man, just genuine guys who love the game of football. Those guys love the game of football. When you look at Jameis, loves the game of football. And you know, you can't lose, man. That guy, he loves the game.
I said something on Sunday. I was hanging out with Vance and a bunch of the guys here in Central California, and I looked over at somebody. They showed Jameis at one point on the sidelines, and I looked over at somebody who was sitting next to me on the couch. I don't even remember who it was. I probably had one or two beverages by then. I looked over at whoever was sitting on the couch next to me, and I said, I love looking at the sidelines and seeing Jameis smiling like that.
Yeah.
That smile, he just looks like an 8-year-old kid on Christmas. And it's like, this is not a job. This is not, this is what he does. I just get the feeling that he would be just as happy playing for free.
He loves the game, man.
There's just a joy. There's just a joy about it.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing, like you said, it's that kind of core, that kind of thing that's infectious, that spreads to
right.
The
and
rest.
It spreads among his football brothers, and some have the same mentality, and if they don't, when they come into the program, then they catch along with that. It spreads amongst them. You know what I mean? Like he is a natural leader, and that attitude, and like I say, loving the game, is his football brothers see that, man, and that is a very contagious thing, and it's a good thing to have amongst a football team and an organization.
Well, speaking of contagious things, I want to kind of change topics just a little bit right now, because one of the things that for me is again, it's the reason that you kind of were on my radar to begin with, is the music.
Okay.
And for me, music is a contagious thing, and for me, it
is.
Music gets me. That's what gets me. I DJ, so that's what when I hear that beat, I'm right there with you. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. How long, first of all, not just Buck related, but how long have you been doing music, and how long have you been doing anthems for the Bucs? And kind of tell me a little bit about how that got started.
Music is actually in my bloodline. I actually recently just found this out. My grandmother on my father's side, they had a musical quartet. They had a musical group up in a little small town outside of Tallahassee called Midway, Florida. Florida and them, who was actually here they were actually here the day before the game. They played in the Classic, the Tampa Classic with Tennessee State. Florida and them March 100, world-renowned band. My grandfather was actually a snare drummer with them. I came up, I learned the piano, and I also played the clarinet. I played the saxophone as well as the snare drum. Poetry has always been one of my hobbies, one of my strong points. I love poetry. I love to write. I love the aspect of it, and I just transitioned that to music and writing. And I think my first rap, I wrote it, I was maybe like 17 years old. I wrote it for like a school talent show. And it was a little corny rap, man. It talked about us eating pancakes at Denny's and Steak and Shake. And, we were just out having a good time, man. It wasn't nothing serious, you know what I'm saying, man? But then, as time passed and I saw some of the guys around me.
I want to hear it now. I want to hear that now. Pancakes at Denny's.
Oh man, what? I can't even remember the rhyme. I remember parts of it, man. But you know, it was just us out having a good time, man. You know, we was talking about dinners and pancakes and milkshakes and you know whatever. That was a thing back in high school, man. We, you know, you leave the football game, we go to the Denny's, and if not there at the track meets, we go to Steak and Shady, get strawberry milkshakes and hamburgers. You know what I'm saying? One of the best things to eat. But after, you know, in college, I had a really, really good friend of mine, man. He's actually still doing his music thing now. He's an artist as well as a producer, very good producer. And I used to watch him with the struggle of, you know, trying to either, you know, pursue music or pursue career in life, and you know, just watching him and just listening to him, man. And I kind of picked up on some of his skills, and I really got into writing. And the thing with the Buccaneers, man, that came out of nowhere. I was at a particular point in my life, you know, I just want to do something different, and I wanted to show my support for my team in a different way. I'm like, you know what? I love music. Why not make a song? Originally, my first anthem, which was Boom, that got debuted in 2014, was actually written the year before. And I don't know if you remember, in 2013, we had a lot going on, man. Josh Freeman with the whole Shiano whatnot. And we had so many transactions going on with the team. Lord, I told my brother.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. Exactly. Yeah, 2 times. I told my brother, I was like, you know what, man, with everything that's going on with the team right now, I was like, I don't think this is the best time for us to bring this out. And so we sat on it. And when, you know, 2014 came in, I was like, you know what, I feel a little better about it. They brought in Lovey. And I was like, okay. And Boom came out, and you know, I got a little following by the fans, but I felt good about it, man. You know, people kind of got a chance to hear, you know, my expressions with the music, as far as, you know, the Buccaneers were related. And I was like, man, you know, let's let this thing take off. If you don't mind me throwing this in there, you know, how the exposure really all it got started. Everybody knows Big Nasty. When you talk about the Buccaneers, you know, Big Nasty. Everybody knows Big Nasty. Everybody knows Big Nasty. And I met Big Nasty at a rookie event for rookie season ticket holders. It was the first time I actually got to buy my season tickets. You know, I you know, attended many Bucs games, but I never actually got to buy my season passes. And this was the first time I was actually able, you know, purchase season tickets. And I got to meet Big Nasty at a rookie event they had for the season ticket holders for the first time. And I passed him the Boom CD, and I was like, you know, listen, my name's Franko. You know, I wrote an anthem for the Bucs. You know, I just like you to check it out. You know, sooner than he did that, I get a call from Derek about, you know, performing for What the Buck at the What the Buck kickoff party that they do annually for the you know, the back to school kickoff for the, you know, the charity. They give to kids, they give them book bags and whatnot. And I was so hyped, man. I was like, you know, I get to perform this on a big, huge pirate ship out at the Wing House. You know, I show up, man, and it was the greatest experience ever, man. And from there, it pretty much just took off. And then the year after is when I decided, we were sitting in the studio, and my daughter was with me. And I'm like, you know what? I want you to come say this. I say, just say, everybody give it up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go get them, Daddy. And you hear that voice. You hear that voice coming through that. You hear that. Oh, man, it was the greatest experience ever. And that was the year after. That was Pirates Life. That was 2015. We did Pirates Life. And every year after, man, it just is the build up. And now I have people like, now, you know, you asked me earlier about the new anthem. and it's like, yeah, it's coming. Like I'm you know, I'm sorry for the wait. Anticipation is definitely there. I've had many questions about it, but it's coming.
Yeah, we were for the viewing public, we were talking about that a little bit right before we went on air, and just kind of talking about how Hurricane Irma had an effect on pretty much everything. 3,000 miles away, I'm sitting here, and Hurricane Irma canceled my birthday party. But we're not going. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Not much. But no, we were talking about. I was asking Franko about the new anthem for this year, because I know there's got to be something coming, and that's what. And the hurricane, you know, that kind of puts everything on hold, and everybody now is just kind of trying to get back into real life after an event like that. And some people still struggling to do so. So, you know, blessed that we're able to still do things like a podcast when some people still don't have power. Right. Which reminds me, guys, if you want to donate, What the Buck is doing quite a bit as far as the charity drive thing for the victims of Hurricane Irma in Florida. So take a minute and go over to What the Buck and drop some money in that pot and help the folks that are still really struggling in Florida after that hurricane. We already heard a little bit earlier. We heard a little bit earlier of one of the tracks, last year's anthem, right? And and we had the opportunity not too long ago. We actually talked to Franko. The Buccaholics kind of reached out to Franko, and he has. I'm not going to play it right now because I don't want to waste the time that I have to talk to Franko. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. When you get to the end of this episode, when the credits roll, instead of rolling the regular theme song, I'm going to roll the Buccaholics song that Franko put together for us. Nice. If you want to hear that track, and I know you want to hear that track, if you want to hear that track, you can check it out there. Has the connection with the music and the connection with What the Buck, tell me something that has a surprising effect of that. Anything that's come out of being a part of that whole thing that kind of shocked you as a fan, man.
Majorly as a fan, like I say, it's kind of weird because some of I can only name the people that I could call them out. Like I said, Big Nasty, of course, meeting him right off, but then it was like a domino effect. Like the people that he introduced me to, then they introduced me to people, then they introduced me to people. Big Nasty at first, and you know, he introduced me to Derek, which, you know, led me to, you know, being able to perform What the Buck at the kickoff party, which led to me being able to perform at the tailgates starting the 2014 season. That also led me to Chris, who does, you know, his podcast at the press box, and I've had a chance to, you know, meet Buck players one-on-one on Mondays, and, you know, be able to sit down and do intros for him as well. But the super fans, I got to shout out my dog Buck Nuts, Matt. I met Matt maybe like 2000. I want to say it was 2010 at a draft party. Never seen this guy a day in my life. And who would ever thought 4 years later, you know, I'd be, you know, linking up with him through What the Buck and, you know, helping run this thing as far as music goes and the charity work and, you know, just bringing life to fans, coming together, you know, it's crazy, man. Buck Crazy. My man Chris Elmore, it's been a real good opportunity, man, you know, just to be able to do that. And I've met so many people, not even in the city of Tampa, you know.
I was just gonna ask you.
You know, that's the biggest thing, man. Like, and I think as far as last year, you know, I kind of got to thank Facebook for that as well, with the social media being involved, because I've been able to reach out to fans like you. It's everywhere, man, and you know, have an opportunity to connect. And I think one of the best things, you know, is when we're able to travel and go to different cities and states and connect with other fans, man. And like it's like I've known you all my life. You know, we talk to each other all the time through social media, and when I actually get a chance to see you face to face, it's like, damn, man. You know, this like, man, welcome home. You know, it's a good feeling, man.
I'll tell you what, that's been one of the things that for me the last couple of years with this group, with the Buccaholics, has been so amazing, because when we've done, I mean, there are people that right now there are people that I consider my close friends that I've only ever seen face to face once. You know what I mean? But if I saw them, if they walked in the room right now, we're hugging like we've been boys since we were 12 years old. And it's amazing how the different elements of this, for you, the music, for me, just doing this group, can bring us together with people like that. I mean, we've got Buccaholics coming all the way from Scotland, from Canada, from Mexico, from all over the country. Less than a month, by the way, folks, less than 1 month to Arizona, the only West Coast game of the season, and that will be the Buccaholics invasion game this year. We're going to roll back in. We rolled in Arizona last year, was our very first tailgate we ever did, and we had about 100 people. And then we went to San Francisco and had about 200 people, and then we went to San Diego and had about 400 people. So I can't even wait to see what Arizona is going to be like going back in there this year. And the difference is that this year we're going to get that damn W at the end of the day.
This year, baby. You gotta believe it. You gotta believe it.
You mentioned traveling, and I wanted to ask you one more question about on the music side of things, and then we'll talk a little bit of football, since you know it's kind of about the Buccaneers at some point, right? But see that, and that's the thing. You laugh, but that's the thing, and I find it hilarious too. But I really, when I started this show, my whole point was I didn't want to just do another show just about breaking down the game. There are a lot better guys.
You got to reach out and get to know the people, man.
There are a lot better guys at breaking down the game. There are a lot better guys at statistics. That's why I bring people on like Chris Knotts and let him talk about the game. And I'm going to just talk to the fans and make this what I wanted it to be from the beginning. But let me ask you this about the traveling and the music, because I saw, and I was really actually looking forward to seeing more. And I know that, again, the weather kind of jacked everything up. But I saw that you were down in Miami.
Yeah.
And you were actually working on some stuff with a guy down there. Now, is he kind of like the Miami Dolphins version of you? And are there guys like that?
I gotta big up my man. That's my man, Delonte Copeland, better known as Solo D. And he is like me on steroids when it comes to the whole superfan thing as far as music is concerned, man. This guy has got it to the point where like he actually showed me some footage where he has Miami Dolphins players, some of their big star players in his music and his videos, and he actually goes to different tailgates at each Miami game and performs at each tailgate. See, with me, I perform at one tailgate. I perform at What the Buck, and I go into the stadium. This guy does multiple tailgates, and instead of him doing just an anthem for the entire year and that just being his track, he does a track for every game of the season. You know what I'm saying? So he really takes it to another level, man. And just to be able to go down and work, normally with me, for me with how music goes, you hear a track. I always tell people this, like, you will hear a track maybe 3.5, 4 minutes, and this is with any artist, not just me, but any artist, maybe 3.5, 4 minutes. Hell, it might take damn near 2 or 3 hours to record that track. You know what I'm saying? And you never understand the work that it takes to put in. But I left Tampa, I drove to Miami, we recorded the track, for the track. And, it was just, it was an amazing thing, man, just to get so much work done. And I was really proud of that. And I'm I'm still kind of salty that we didn't get the debut that, you know, the way we were supposed to perform it down in Miami. That though, in Miami in November, we will be performing that track together, and we will release that video that we got a chance to record down there. And I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, that was a great experience to be able to get with an artist who we had the, you know, share the same likings, and you know, just to see that he does it on a totally different level for me. Like he really takes it to the top, you know, the top levels, and you know, that was a good thing.
And I thought that was interesting when I saw you on the video on Facebook. I was like, and it made me wonder, because I've heard of a couple of guys here and there, but it made me wonder, is there a Franko in every single city that has an NFL team? And I would imagine there probably are guys out there just like you that are trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do for their team and for their fans. Have you come across any others besides Solo D? Or?
No, he was actually the first artist that I linked up with. I know of other artists, like I haven't actually had a chance to meet them, but I've researched, and you see them, you know, you have a couple making videos here and there, some music and whatnot. But he was actually the first artist that I got a chance to work with that I knew was legit. And I know knows me. It's one thing about getting with somebody in the studio who actually knows music, knows the whole aspect of the game, and know how, you know, how things work. You know, you can tell it right off. And you know, when you get in the studio and that chemistry there, and you just want to work with them. And with him, it just popped. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, as soon as I got in the studio, we went right at it. We worked, shot the video, and it was good. So I don't know of, you know, artists around like that, but I know that I met him, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to meet him, because he was a good dude, man, and it was good to work with him. The chemistry was definitely there. Well,
we're going to have to keep our eyes and ears open and see if we can find some more people for you to hook up with and go heads up against. Get some battles going. Get some
definitely, man.
NFL rap battles going on all over the country. That's what I want to see. So let's talk.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little football, man. You ready? What'd you think about Sunday, man?
Let's go.
What are some things that stood out to you?
Oh man. So just to start it off, of course, with Hurricane Irma coming through, missing that first week, you know, I you know, we crave football so much, and just missing that first week, that I think that had everybody on edge. So the Bears already had a disadvantage. Not only just coming away to an away game. Of course, when you are away, you already have a disadvantage because of the home crowd. But I think just the fact that we were already on edge from missing that game, and then everybody was just anticipating that, we were just so anxious. The sound of that crowd, man, oh my goodness. Just sitting here thinking about it, man, it was electric. But definitely what I saw from the team, man, was reminiscent of back in the days. And I'm talking about that defense, just, you know, for starters. Just to go right into it, man.
I mean, you look at some of the plays that we saw. I see what you're saying. I mean, the defense was it was exactly what everybody always says they want. Bend, don't break. Bend, but don't break is what that defense looked like on Sunday to me. And I don't know. I hear, you know, you hear all kinds of people talking all kinds of crap about all kinds of players at one point or another, right? But I am done with people talking about Levante like he's not an impact player anymore or something. I'm over that. I don't know whoever came up with the concept that Levante David might not be an impact player. Somebody said it, and idiots believed it. But y'all need to wake up, because Levante David is the truth, and he's not going to let up. He's not going to let up.
Definitely legit.
I mean, I'm watching players though. And I have this bad habit, I have this tendency to focus on the players that I think might make mistakes. and wait
Right.
and watch them to see whether they live down to my expectations. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I get what you're saying.
it's the ugly part of human nature, right? It's like the train wreck. But, so I'll do a little bit of what I call player rubbernecking.
Okay.
And one of the guys that was on my radar this week, this past Sunday for player rubbernecking, is one of the guys who I think gets more verbal abuse than any other player on our team. And that's got to be Chris Conti. It's got to be Chris.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I'm looking at numbers. I'm watching the game and I'm waiting for Conti to do something really dumb, and it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Yeah.
Did he make every single play? No, not every single play, but he comes away as one of the leaders on that defense as far as tackles for the day. You know, the only person that had tackles than Conti on Sunday was Levante David. He's the only one that. So, I mean, you start looking at that and you start seeing, okay, this is a team that defensively, I think, has finally stood up, has finally woken up a little bit. And if you remember, when Mike Smith came in, go back and look at some of the interviews with him when he first came over to the Buccaneers and see what he said. And I guarantee you will find him saying it's going to take 2 years. It's going to take 2 to 3 years before this defense really starts to feel what I'm trying to get them to feel, really starts to do what I'm trying to put them in a position to do. And look at them on Sunday. Look at them on Sunday.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think that's why, I reverted back to our guys from the past and, not only being, a thing about, as far as money is concerned, in reference to the guys of today, but those guys soaked up Monty Kiffin's scheme. And when you have a team like that, the caliber of players that we had, and they understood the scheme fully, that's deadly. That is very deadly because and not to mention the Tampa 2. He brought something to the game of the NFL that nobody had ever seen. So, you got so many things coming at you at one time, but when that, and anytime an entire defense, starts to develop and they gel together and they understand the scheme that the coordinator is trying to bring, to the defense. Oh man, you in a real good position, and that's exactly what I feel.
It's that I think they understand it, and I think just as important as understanding it is buying in and believing that if they do it, it will work. You know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a difference between knowing the schemes, knowing where you're supposed to be on the field, knowing what your coverage is, knowing who you're supposed to be watching for. But there's a difference between that and actually believing that if we all play our roles, it will work. That's that buy-in. That's that mental, emotional buy-in. And I think that is kind of what we're starting to see across the board with this. Is that mental and emotional buy-in. And I was listening to, I didn't get a chance to listen to it right after the game, but I was listening to the Pewtercast. And they did their live right after the game instant reaction. They call it the instant cast. And I think it may have been, I know they had Derek as their guest, but I think it may have been Ren who said something about that he really sees this as the Jameis Winston. That there's something to be said for his positivity, his mentality across that whole team, not just the offense, but to the defense as well, that there's a level of uplift right now. And everybody's feeling that level of uplift. And some of these guys have been beat down for a long damn time. And so to get them to the point where they feel like I said, that they believe that if they actually do this, And if they do work the way that he's been showing them how to work, that it will end up in a victory, that it will end up in a win.
Yeah.
What do you think about the offense on Sunday? 26 points in the first half and 3 points in the second half.
Listen, I personally, now this is just me. I could be wrong.
Come on.
I personally believe they took their foot off the gas. To be honest with you, I don't think we were in pursuit as much in the second half to drive and score points because we already knew. I mean, like I said, the way that defense was playing, man, it was like, I mean, was almost in a sense of like, what's the use? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sound cocky or anything like that, man, but I kind of think they just kind of fell back. They got a little relaxed because the way that defense was manhandling the Chicago Bears, man, it was like, if the offense had played like they did the first half, we probably would have put up some record numbers. You know what I mean? That's my personal belief. I saw some spurts.
Let me ask you this, though. You said you think they took their foot off the gas. Do you think that was was that intentional? Was that on purpose? And why? What's the benefit? Or do you think they just got relaxed in the fact that game was a lock?
I'm gonna be honest, and I think I'm gonna just say they got relaxed. I'm gonna say they got relaxed because there were some strong points in the game where we showed some spurts of what I believe is to come in the season. Did we show something that would make us believe that as a whole we've gelled completely as an offense that's going to dominate the NFL? I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? You're never actually there. Nothing ever is perfect. You always got something to work on. And I believe we have a few things to work on. And I can roll with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we look at it from a whole as it being a team game and not just, well, we got offense and we got defense. Because let's think about this. The Carolina Panthers have a great defense. Offense hasn't been doing anything. The New Orleans Saints has a great offense. Defense hasn't been doing anything. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, no, the offense wasn't there. Like they wasn't as high powered as we know they can be. Because we know that the talent is there. It's definitely there. Have we gelled as a whole? No, it's not completely there. It's not completely formed yet. But it's getting there, and it's going to get there. You see that, and you saw spurts of that.
I'll tell you what I saw on Sunday that I liked. I'll tell you what I saw on Sunday that I liked, and I'll tell you what I think about that whole second half thing and foot on the gas, foot off the gas thing too.
Right.
I don't claim to be inside anybody's head, but let me just say that if I'm a coach and I'm winning 29-7, and I know that this is only our first game, and the rest of the teams out there haven't seen all of the wrinkles that we can throw at them, haven't seen all the formations that we can throw at them, haven't seen all the possible combinations that this offense is goddamn ridiculously full of talent. Do we put the foot on the gas, balls to the wall till the end of the fourth quarter, run these sons of bitches over with a score of like 68-7, or do we put Fitz in? Do we lay back a little bit and go, now hold on, there's 15 more teams that still haven't seen everything we have to show them yet. Let's keep a little bit of something away for next week or for the week after that. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not inside Dirk Cutter's head. God knows I wish I could be on some days, because some of the shit that he comes up with is amazing to me. But is it foot off the gas intentional in order to maybe kind of almost like a preseason mentality of, we know this one is done. It's done. They're not Tom Brady and the Patriots. They're not going to fuck us like he did the Falcons. They're not going to come back from a 29-7 deficit.
Right,
So
right.
So what?
I could roll with that mentality, and that. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm listening.
You know that to me, you know, that makes perfect sense, and I feel like that's kind of where I was going with that. Like, it was at that point, you know, I don't remember the exact score of the Falcons Bears game the first week, but I want to say it was.
They had to play them a lot harder than we had to play yesterday. That's for sure. Yeah, and I looked up at the scoreboard, and we scored what the Falcons scored in the first half. Actually, we scored more than they scored in the first half than what they scored the entire game. You know, by the time we're at the end of the third quarter, now I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I can't even lie. I wanted the goose egg. Oh,
I wanted the goose egg. I wanted the goose egg. I was so hot, and then it was like the last 2 minutes. I was like, "You son of a bitch!" I was like, "Wow!" But just the way that they dominated the Chicago Bears, man, and one of the things that I think people always get misconstrued. You know, you always say, "Well, team." I'm gonna tell you something. This is the NFL. And when you say any given Sunday, that is a very true statement. You don't know how a team is going to come out, what their focus is, what emotions are going to be on their back. You can have a team that's 10-0 versus a team that's 4-6, and that team 4-6 might have a hell of a lot more to prove, and they come out with a little chip on their shoulder, and they might just come out and dominate. You never know what the circumstances or the stipulations is going to be of a particular game. With the Atlanta Falcons so-called being the class of the NFC, and them coming off of this, this Super Bowl high or whatnot, you would have expected them to dominate the Chicago Bears last Sunday.
Yep.
What did they do? Mike Glennon gets out there and damn near make the comeback and knocks him off the first game.
All the way to the fourth
and
quarter.
Oh, man. So, you know, not that we should measure our season off of that, but in my eyes, that should be somewhat of an indication of what this, this picture of the NFC is going to be. Because if you look around at the games, man, I don't know if you had a chance to check out the Monday night game tonight. New York Giants, in my eyes, are done. The high-powered teams in the NFC that you're normally used to seeing that have been running the NFC for the past few years are done. And bias, of course, because I'm a Bucs fan. I wear these colors proudly, baby. But I just see us as that team you got to look for this year. I feel like we have arrived.
Well, I see a lot. I keep hearing a lot of people making comparisons, not team-wise right now, but in the way that Jason Light, Dirk Cutter are building this team, and comparing that to the way that Bill Belichick built the dominant team now in the New England Patriots. And those similarities are definitely there, and I can't wait. I'll tell you who I'm watching in next week's game. Next week, this name is going to come up again. I guarantee it. And I'll be surprised if he's not higher up the list of with the number of tackles on our team next week. And that's Kendall Beckwith. Beckwith is came out. It seemed like every time I looked, he was right in the middle of it. And I'm excited about him. Even with the injury that he was coming out of LSU,
they made a lot of comparisons, not exactly to Quan Alexander, but I'd say to his energy level and to his knowledge of the game and the way he plays the game, the speed in the game. And yo, that dude Sunday, man, oh my goodness.
What was
Yo.
I think it was him they were talking about when I saw an article earlier today, and somebody I think it was Beckwith. I can't remember now, but yeah, I think it applies to Beckwith. Even if I'm wrong about the article saying it, it applies to Beckwith. They referred to him as a rookie non-rookie.
Yeah.
Because it's like he knows, there's so much.
He knows.
So much that he already.
And I and that's a good thing. And you gotta remember, when Quan Alexander came to the game, he came in and had a lot on his shoulders, being a signal caller, pretty much the quarterback of the defense. And when you come into the game like that as a rookie, and that type of responsibility is placed on your shoulders, and then you show your worth, man, and you right there, you make those plays, and it's like, yo, you got a solid player, man, and this guy's coming and he's making plays, and I'm just really excited to see how this thing develops and how this defense gels together over time, and these players get used to each other, and you start hearing these names, man. That's gonna be one to remember.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're on the verge of something, man. I think defensively we're damn near there. I think offensively, like I said earlier, we've got so many weapons we don't even know what to do with them all. And that could be a good and bad thing, Jay, if you think about it. You know how they do that thing with like famous Hollywood couples where they take their two names and they mix them together? I think we need.
Yeah.
I think we need to call it. I think we need to call it Jaquizton Robber. We're just gonna Jaquizton Robber. We're gonna combine Jaquiz Rogers and Peyton Barber into one running back, and I'm gonna take all 120 something of their yards that they got combined, and I'm happy. I'm okay with it.
Yo, you know what? A running back. And I think that goes back to the whole team aspect. If it's just about you getting individual stats, then I guess the whole solo back thing is, especially if you got a dominant running back, you run with that. But if you have a running back, by committee, and you have running backs that can produce not as much as a running back that can carry the whole workload by himself, but running backs who don't mind sharing the carries and who can get the job done as a team, and you all focus on one goal and you get towards that goal, then it works out better. But I think that situation for now is exactly what we need until Doug Martin gets back, and hopefully, especially from what I've seen in training camp and preseason, get that old 2012 and 2015 Doug Martin back, man, and he'll be right on time. Be right on time, man.
Man, and I know we saw it a little bit in preseason, and I know that you guys that are in Tampa, they got to go to some of the practices and camp stuff, got to see it even more. I'm so looking forward to Doug coming back, and I've never been more proud of my team for staying right there where they were with him. And until then, we got Jaquizton. We got Jaquizton out there on the field working. Everybody's going to crap on Charles Sims again because people love, for some reason, he's another one of those players that everybody loves to crap on. But y'all keep on crapping on Charles Sims, and I'm just going to let him get the ball and go to the edge every few plays and see what happens, because I know what I know about Charles, and that's at some point he's going to break one off on the edge, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be sucking Chuck again. And
man.
But
you just never know, man.
But for now, let him go ahead and hate on him a little bit. I gotta give it to him. I gotta let him have their moment. But I think he's gonna come back too. And I think that as soon as we get Martin back and we can get Charles Sims to where he needs to be, which is that change of pace, stretch the outside kind of a runner, not rush him up, not run him up the middle, not try and turn him into another Doug Martin, because he is not ever has been, not ever will be another Doug Martin. He's just a different kind of back altogether. But I think we've got Jaquiz, who to me runs like Doug. We've got Peyton, who to me has some of those same qualities too. I think it's definitely not the same, but the combination of those two right now, as long as it works for the next couple of games until we get Doug back, keep that committee. I'll stick with the committee, man. I'm happy with the committee.
Yeah, I like the move with Jaquiz Rogers coming in. For one, being that he had already been in Dirk Cutter's system, and he knew the system. I liked him when he was at Oklahoma State. You know what I'm saying? I had fun watching him and his brother. His brother was a receiver, and I like watching those two on the field together. They were so electric. When he had some moments when he was with the Atlanta Falcons, and I don't remember if he went to another team after. I'm not positively sure, but I knew when we picked him up that he had knowledge of Dirk Cutter's system. And I knew that bringing him in was we were gonna have an advantage with that. Coming in, he stepped right in, man, and immediately just picked up the slack, and it's definitely been an advantage for us. I like Charles Sims because of his elusiveness. Now, at the same time, with me, it's like a positive and negative thing, because sometimes his elusiveness gets on my damn nerves because he shakes just a little too much. And he gets in the hole and he starts doing that shimmy shit, and it's like, yo, man, just go. But it is what it is, man. It's days when it works and it's days when it doesn't. The days when it does work, and we love the hell out of them. When it doesn't, it's like, well, whatever. You know what I mean? But I like the versatility that we have in backs. Everybody brings something different to the table.
That's that I think is the saving grace of the situation that we're in right now, is that we do, and it's a unique position for us to be in as Buccaneers, as Buccaneer fans, to be in a position where what we're worried about is who's going to back up the backup, instead of being worried about who's going to walk on the field to start the game every Sunday.
Right.
So I mean, it's a good time to be a Bucs fan, man. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start to wrap this thing up a little bit. I got a couple things I need to let people know about, and then we're gonna get the final segment of the show that I was telling you about. You got to be ready for the 5 questions.
Okay.
Before I do that, I have to do a couple of things. First of all, I have to say, on behalf of my son, JT, or as he calls himself when he wears his Buccaholics jersey, El Juerito, the little white boy, I just got to say hi to all the fans out there on behalf of JT. I'm going to have him as a guest on the show and let him tell you about why he loves the Bucs one of these days. But he made me promise to say hi to everybody for him. I got to do this too. Now, every once in a while, I have now you see some of my stuff back here. You see I'm in my man cave, my house.
You got a real nice setup back there.
But every once in a while I get something new that I got to show off, and I just got to show this off. So I'm gonna creep it up on you real slow, and tell me you know who that came from. Tell me you know who that came from, right? Lord, look at that.
Yeah, Lord.
Yeah, tell me you know who that came from. Token hooked it up, man. Look, it says it right there. El Güero, the white boy.
Oh, man, that is cold-blooded, man.
Look on the roof.
You look at him, man. Yeah, Lord. You always like to see something new, man. And that's what it's all about, man. When we represent from different areas, different angles, we got different ideas. I love it, man. That is.
I've been seeing Token on Facebook doing helmets for everybody, you know. And I said, you know what? I got to have one of those helmets. I got to hook that up. I got to show you one more new toy. One more new toy. I got this about a week or two ago. Check that out. Oh, is that not the prettiest thing?
Oh my goodness, man.
That's my boy.
That is gorgeous, man.
I took it. I had to hang it up. I just took it down off the wall this evening just because I remembered that I didn't show it on last week's show, so I had to show it this week.
Man, that is beautiful, man.
That's right here, man. You know. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step my game up, man. You looking too pretty back there. I gotta get pretty like you, baby. I gotta be pretty at all times, baby. Let me know.
I'm done showing off, so I want to tell you about a couple of things real quick. First of all, I want to mention it again. The one and only West Coast game of the season is coming up in October. I think it's the 16th. I believe it's the 16th. Shit, I don't know, 15th or 16th. I forget the date. Anyways,
yeah,
I'm gonna be in Arizona on
15th.
I'm gonna be in Arizona that Friday all the way through Monday. And Buccaholics will be in full effect at the tailgate on Sunday at UOP Stadium in Arizona. We're going to be in the Green East parking lot, lot 1. So if you're coming in, come look for us. You'll see us. We're going to have I bought about 20 parking passes myself that have gone out to everybody that's coming with us. So there's going to be a good crowd of us out there setting up. As soon as we get an go ahead. Well,
no, I was gonna say, man, I gotta shout out my main man, Jamal J. Buck Sanders, a.k.a. my dog J. Boogie. Buck Sanders will be in the building representing all the way from Tampa, Florida, man. I'm so salty. I'm so salty that I can't be there because that's actually my birthday is on Friday the 13th in October, man. And I'll be with my family celebrating in Tallahassee, Florida, man. You know, we'll be up there hanging out, and I'll actually be here hosting a watch party here in Tampa. But my man J Buck, he will be in Arizona representing hard, man. And I'm happy for my dog. I wish I could be there with him, but man, y'all, oh my goodness, I know it's gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be nuts, man. I know it's gonna be nuts.
It's the Orange Invasion, y'all. We are going to siege University of Phoenix Stadium. Everybody come, wear your throwback orange, wear your new school orange, whatever you got that's orange, bring that shit, because we want to look like a big orange thumb right in the middle of that Red Sea, man. We want to blow that up. We are going to be doing the full tailgate experience. Vance is going to be on the grill. Chef Adrian's going to be on the grill. We got some of the local Arizona Buccaholics that are going to be doing pulled pork sliders and bringing more food out there. We got drinks going to be coming out. We got DJ Ruco and DJ San Andreas on the 1s and 2s all throughout the tailgate party. We are going to be raising money for a charity that's very special to my friend Jake Lucy, who is our graphic designer for the group, and he was my guest last week. It's a charity called Honor Flight Southland. And this, again, if you missed last week, these are the people who arranged trips for veterans of World War II to go and see the memorial. And actually get to go and visit that and experience that. And in fact, take a look, check out the Buccaholics page. We'll put some information up because we actually have been invited by Honor Flight Southland to go and greet some of the veterans when they're returning from one of their trips. They actually have people that come out there and bring flags and bring all kinds of stuff and greet these veterans. And we were talking about last week, it's kind of a special charity for us too, because it's a charity with a time limit. Because we don't know how longer some of these soldiers are going to be around that were around in World War II.
Right.
We really we want to do something for that charity, and we want to honor those American heroes. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to see being sold, being raffled, all the money that we're doing for charity at that tailgate is all going straight to Honor Flight Southland. So if you're coming out, please know that the money that you're putting in, by the way, I think I mentioned it last week, but it is official. We Buccaholics are officially a nonprofit, 501c3. We filed the paperwork. We're officially a nonprofit organization now. And so we're trying to keep ourselves accountable and keeping the money that you guys put into it where it belongs, which is, if it's not helping us run a tailgate, it's going straight to charity. That's kind of
a beautiful thing,
works, man. That's what we want to do. We kind of took what the Buc as our model of what we wanted to do when it comes to that, because they've been so great in the Tampa community, and we figure we're spread out all over the world, but we can do something wherever we're at, and that's kind of what we're trying to do.
And that's not to cut you off, but that's one of the reasons why I love to go out there and I love to go out there and support. See what they do. I see what they do for the community. And that at the end of the day, when it comes to the music, on my end, it's about putting smiles on faces. And I see them putting smiles on people's faces, when they, giving out the book bags and stuff for the kids. You see parents in tears because they're not able to provide for their kids. And it's like, small things that people take for granted sometimes. You know what I'm saying, man? It may not be the biggest of things, but just the small things that people do sometimes. And, just to see that the way that they reach out to the community, man, and anything that involves community, like, with you all, with the Buccaholics and whatever, man, and, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be a part of, and able to contribute and do my part as well to, provide that spark of hope, or just, give somebody the motivation, whatever I can do on my end. And, just to be a part of these organizations and, support what y'all are doing it's a real good thing, bro.
It's exciting to be able to connect one of the things that I love more than anything, which is Buccaneer football, with the ability to do something bigger, something that transcends Buccaneer football, like doing the charity stuff and doing the stuff for the community. You're absolutely right, man. It's smiles on faces. It's for me, for us in Buccaholics, the guys that started the group, it's about bringing fans together and giving them a positive experience around this team that we all love. And it's about reaching out now that we have the ability, now that we have the membership. By the way, over 7,000 members officially this week in Buccaholics on Facebook. We just crossed over 7,000 members this week. So yeah, that's another milestone that we're pretty happy with. But it's put us in the position that we can do these kind of things and actually have some people behind us that hopefully will support it, will back it up, and will be able to really kind of put a dent in some of these charity things that we want to do. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. We got one more thing we got to take care of. Franko, you ready?
What you need me to do, baby?
All right, here it is. Now, before I do it, I just want to say it one more time. I want to thank you. I want to thank Kareem Frank McGill, if we want to get all official. Yeah. I want to thank Frank for being the guest on the show tonight. I want to thank you for the music that you've put out already. I want to thank you for the anthems that get me fired up because I listen to them on Sunday mornings. You'll see my kids dancing around the house to them on Sunday mornings. And I throw that CD in that you sent me last season. I'll be like, yeah. My house becomes like Ray J. West over here. But
that's a good thing, man.
I want to thank you for what you do for the Buck fan community there in Tampa. I want to thank you for what you do for What the Buck and helping them to reach out the charities. I want to thank you for being on the show this week, and I hope that we'll have a chance to have you on again at another time. And since I know you can't come to Arizona this season, I'm really hoping that next season we'll have a chance to actually hook up, get together, and I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna ask you to do something for me. I'm gonna ask you to do something for me.
Okay.
You may not know this, but I'm actually a singer. So you got to make me a promise. You gotta make me a promise that if I ever get to Tampa, you're gonna let me sing backup on one of your tracks.
Hey, man, I got you, man. We gonna make that happen.
See, I put him on the spot, y'all. Y'all see that, right? I put him right on the spot.
We gonna make that happen, man.
What's he gonna do? Say no? He can't say no. All right, here we go.
We gonna make that happen.
Final segment of the show with Franko. This is a little something that I call the Flash Five. Now, the idea here is to think quick and answer even quicker. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, rapid fire. You have no knowledge of what the questions are going to be until you hear them fall out of my face hole. And you have to answer as quickly as possible. The first thing that pops into your head, best answer you can give. If you must explain, then I will give you a few seconds to explain. But other than that, it's rapid fire. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
Here we go. Question number 1. Best touchdown you ever saw live?
Oh man. I can't. Oh, why did you do that? Oh man, I can't think of his name. It was 2007, New Orleans Saints at home. Mike Clayton had a huge block. Why can I not think of his name right now? I don't believe this. Joey Galloway. Yes. All
right. 2007, New Orleans Saints, Joey Galloway. I like it. Here we go. Question number 2. Give me your best, your most epic, your most inspired, your most inspirational, yeah, Lord, that you have ever done. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lordy. We on the Buccaholics podcast. Yeah, Lordy.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If you guys, I don't know if y'all see, if your Facebook feed ever pops up and says that Kareem Frank McGill is live, click on that shit. Okay. Click on that shit. All right, here we go. Question number 3. Finish this sentence. Levante David is
one of the best linebackers I've seen come through this team in a long time.
All right. I like that. Here we go. Number 4. We're gonna diverge a little bit. You ready?
Let's go.
Question number 4. Who's the rapper you would most like to have feature on your next anthem?
Rick Ross.
Oh, there we go. Going straight to the boss, Rick Ross. I like that. That would be fun, man. We got to hook that up. Man. All right. Now, I'm sorry. You know I got to put you on the spot for real, though. You know I can't have you come on here and not do a little something, not spit a little something. So here's what I want. Question number 5. Are you ready? Question number 5. I want 8 bars on $8. Your choice of who? 8 bars on $8. It's on you. Go.
8 bars on $8. Okay, let's see. Jameis throws a bomb to my man Mike Evans. You got Deshaun Jackson rocking number 11. Gerald the Big Baker handing business up the middle. Grimes and Harvey's handling receivers like a fiddle. Anger puts the boot up and puts us in position. Quana Levante, they making hits if you listen. Everyone say, let's make America great. Well, if you want that, break.
Oh, there we go. There we go, y'all. Yeah. Give it up one more time, folks. Give it up one more time for Franko right here. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yo, man, thank you for the opportunity, bro. I'm so humble, man. I'm grateful, man.
All right, man. That's it for episode 4 of Buccaholics Fan-Tastic. Stay tuned next week. I don't know who the guest is yet, but you'll know as soon as I do. We
there's the snap. The game is over. The Chargers know it. Their fans know it. And the rowdy Buck bunch across the field behind our benches making more noise than the Chargers. The Buccaholics. The Buccaholics over.
Yeah. I'm the beast from the east named Khalees. Me and my dad, we came to get the stage started. So sit back, relax, and just chill. And let's introduce to you the Buccaholics.
When the needle hits the surface, the music starts to travel. The bass gets to bumping, the speakers start to battle. The rhythm hits your chest, your ears get caressed. You begin to lose yourself, cause you know that you've been blessed with the best. How do we define the best? The Buccaholics taking off with style and finesse. Yes, yes, who's the best? Well, you're staring right at it. The mission is to redefine the meaning of fanatic. We like them big kids, twist your cap backwards. Sometimes we're savage, so far from average. Ain't no friction here, but we keep causing static. And cheering on our Buccaneers is clearly automatic. Round here they call me Franko, baby. Mixing lyrics with the beats, driving fans crazy. When we all come together, we can cause a commotion. And that Buck love goes deeper than the ocean.
The first 9 they started this. Jump on the train, be a part of this. Now say it twice if you're feeling it. Buccaholics, Buccaholics. The first 9 they started this. Jump on the train, be a part of this. Now say it twice if you're feeling it. Buccaholics, Buccaholics.
We are
the Buccaholics, coming to a city and a state near you.
how we represent.
We only go hard where the fans will battle tested, tried and true.
We are
the Buccaholics, coming to a city and a state near you.
how we represent.
We only go hard where the fans will battle tested, tried and true. Started in the West Coast, out in California. The first tailgate popped off in Arizona. 9/18 of 16 to be exact. Pardon your boy Frank, but I'm just trying to spit facts. The Chargers game is where this thing begins to take off. Getting props and recognition from Gene Deckerhoff. Now we out here just trying to be great. Every time you turn around, we in a new state. Hawaii, Nevada, Texas, New Mexico, Washington, Florida, even Colorado. The tri-states and shots out to the UK. Ringing like the tailgating like the new day. Fire up the grill, put them drinks on ice so they don't chill. It's a way of life that the first 9 started. This group of rowdy fans are called the Buccaholics.
The first 9 they started this. Jump on the train, be a part of this. Now say it twice if you're feeling it. Buccaholics, Buccaholics. The first 9 they started this. Jump on the train, be a part of this. Now say it twice if you're feeling it. Buccaholics, Buccaholics.
We are
the Buccaholics, coming to a city and a state near you.
how we represent.
We only go hard where the fans will battle tested, tried and true.
We are
the Buccaholics, coming to a city and a state near you.
how we represent.
We only go hard where the fans will battle tested, tried and true.